What if you could stop translating completely and let English come to you naturally? You're listening to English FlowZone, where this C1, C2 Masterclass will train your brain to think faster in English. Let's unlock that skill.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can get new English tips every day. Today, I'm going to share a lesson that will change the way you think about learning English forever. But let me be honest with you right from the beginning. This lesson is not like other English videos you have seen before. I'm not here to give you empty motivational words or some quick tips that you will forget in a few minutes. No, this is different. This lesson is deeper. It will make you think. It will challenge you, and I must warn you, it's not easy. In fact, most people will stop watching before they finish. Why? Because the truth can make us uncomfortable. Most people don't like facing hard truths. For years, you have been told to treat English like a school subject. You memorized long vocabulary lists, studied grammar rules, repeated sentences after your teacher, and tried to follow the right way to learn English. But even after all that effort, many of you still feel stuck. You still hesitate when speaking. You still translate every word in your mind instead of speaking naturally, and that is because everything you were taught about learning English is only half the story. There is one important truth no one ever tells you. Fluency does not begin in your mouth. It does not begin with words or grammar rules. Fluency begins in one place, your mind. If your brain cannot think in English, your mouth will never speak it naturally. You might know hundreds of words and rules, but if your brain is translating everything from your native language, your speaking will always feel slow and awkward. That is why today's lesson is different. We are not going to focus on memorizing more words. We are not going to do grammar drills. Instead, we are going to focus on changing your habits, breaking the old patterns that keep you stuck, and rewiring your brain so it can start thinking in English automatically. By the end of this lesson, if you are brave enough to follow it all, you will know how to quiet the voice inside your head that keeps translating every word. You will understand how to think in English without effort, without hesitation, and with confidence. This is about living English, not just learning it. You will discover that the real key to speaking fluently is not repetition, not memorization, and not grammar. The key is to train your mind to operate in English naturally. I am going to show you step by step how to replace old habits with new ones. You will learn how to stop overthinking, stop translating, and start speaking effortlessly. It will not be easy. It will challenge everything you have been taught so far. But if you follow it carefully, if you are willing to push past the discomfort, you will experience a breakthrough in your English learning journey. So, are you ready? Are you ready to stop learning English the old way and start thinking and living English? This is your chance to change the way your brain works. It will take focus, patience, and practice. But by the end of this lesson, you will see English in a completely new light. You will realize that fluency is not about studying harder, but about training your mind to speak freely. The journey will be tough, but it will be worth it. This might be the most important lesson of your entire English journey. If you are ready to stop dreaming about speaking fluently and actually feel it, then this is not just a video to watch. You need to experience it, practice it, and let it change the way you think. Today, we start at the very beginning. Chapter 1. Kill the translator in your head. This invisible monster has been silently stopping your fluency from day one. You probably don't even notice it, but it is always there, making everything harder. Imagine this. You want to say a simple sentence in English, like I want to go to the market. But what happens in your mind? First, you think it in your native language. Then you mentally translate each word into English. Then you check the grammar in your head. And finally, you try to speak. That's 4 steps just to say one sentence. No wonder you sound hesitant, nervous, or unsure. You sound exhausted because you are fighting a battle inside your own mind. That invisible translator, the voice that always changes your thoughts from your language to English, is slowing you down. It is confusing you and slowly destroying your confidence. Why does this happen? It happens because your brain is trying to protect you. Your brain thinks, let's use the language we already know. It's safer. It's easier. That is why, even when you try to think in English, your mind goes back to your native language first. It's automatic. Your brain wants safety, not mistakes. But fluency is not safe. Fluency is messy. Fluency is alive. Fluency is emotional. Fluency is free. You can't think in one language and then expect to speak naturally in English. It's like trying to dance while reading instructions. Nothing will ever flow. Here is the truth that most English learners never hear. You don't speak what you know, you speak what you think. If your thoughts are not in English, your words will never come out easily. Knowing words or grammar is not enough. You need to train your mind to think in English, not just translate from your native language. So, how do we fix this? How do we silence that invisible translator in your head? Not with motivation, not with repeated pep talks, but with real mental training. Here's the first step. Replace words, not sentences. Start very small. When you see an object, don't think of its name in your language. Instead, immediately think of it in English. Look at a chair. Think chair. Look at the sky. Think the sky is blue. Feel tired. Think I'm tired. Do not try full sentences yet. Forget grammar for now. Just link your thoughts directly to English words. This simple habit trains your brain to associate what you see, feel, or experience directly with English. By doing this, your brain slowly rewires itself. You stop translating everything back and forth. You start thinking in English automatically. It sounds simple, but this is the most powerful step toward real fluency. Every time you practice this, the invisible translator loses strength. The voice that was slowing you down begins to fade. Speaking English starts to feel natural, almost effortless, because your thoughts are finally aligned with your words. Remember, fluency is a journey, not a race. You will make mistakes, and that's okay. What matters is that your brain learns to think in English, word by word, moment by moment. Replace the translator with English thoughts, and suddenly speaking English will stop feeling like work. It will start feeling like living. Now that you know how to start replacing words in your mind, it's time to take the next steps. Step by step, we will kill the translator in your head and train your brain to think in English naturally. Step 1, as we learned, is replacing words one English thought at a time. No full sentences yet, just single words connected to what you see, feel, or experience. This is the foundation of raw fluency. Step 2 is using English in emotional moments. Your brain remembers emotions better than anything else. When you are angry, excited, tired, nervous, or happy, use English to think about those feelings. For example, instead of thinking in your native language, I am happy, say to yourself, I'm so happy right now. Instead of thinking, I am scared, in your first language, say, I feel nervous. These moments stick in your mind. Emotions help your brain create stronger connections between your thoughts and English words. The more you practice this, the faster your brain learns to think directly in English. Step 3 is a challenge. Silence your native language for 5 minutes a day. Yes, just 5 minutes. For those 5 minutes, do not allow a single thought in your first language. It will feel strange at first. You might forget words, get frustrated, or even feel like you are not smart enough. That is a sign that your translator is losing power. In its place, a new way of thinking is emerging. A mind that naturally thinks in English. This small but powerful practice rewires your brain and creates the mental habits you need for fluency. Step 4 is watch with your brain, not just your eyes. When you watch English videos, don't just passively look at the screen. Actively repeat what you hear in your mind. Copy the speaker's thoughts silently. For instance, if someone says, I don't feel like going to work today, silently repeat the same sentence in your head. Don't just memorize the words. Adopt the thought. This is how thinking in English begins. You cannot speak fluently until you first think in English, and you cannot think in English until you stop translating every word. You must kill the translator. Not tomorrow, not next year, but now. Now let's move to Chapter 2. Use the language loop, not memory. Let me start by asking a simple question. When you hear a fluent English speaker, do you think they translate every word before speaking? Of course not. They are not memorizing sentences. They are not calculating grammar rules in their head. They are not checking the dictionary meaning of every word. So how do they speak so easily, so naturally? The answer is simple. They are not using memory. They are using something much more powerful, a language loop. A language loop is a natural system your brain creates when it hears, thinks, and repeats English over and over. It allows your brain to process English automatically without translating. You don't need to memorize every word. Your brain starts connecting English sounds, words, and ideas into a flow. You hear English, understand English, and respond in English without thinking about your native language. That is what fluency really is. Okay, this means they asking about my condition. Let me try to remember what to say. No, you immediately say, I'm fine. Thank you. Why? Because it's a loop. You have heard this sentence thousands of times. You have said it thousands of times. Your brain doesn't just remember it, it owns it. This is the power of the language loop. Memory alone is slow and fragile. If you forget a word, suddenly you are stuck. Loops, on the other hand, are fast and automatic. They are like songs or habits. They come out naturally without thinking. When you reach fluency, you don't rely on remembering words or grammar rules. Instead, you have built enough strong loops so that English flows freely without effort. That's the real goal of learning to speak English well, not memorization, but creating loops your brain can use automatically. Now, how do you create these loops in your brain? Don't worry, you don't need perfect grammar or even speaking aloud at first. The key is to train your brain like a speaker, not a student. Here's how. Step 1. Choose real-life loops, not fake sentences. Never waste time learning sentences like the cat is on the mat. These sentences are for exams, not real life. Instead, focus on what you will actually say every day. I'm getting ready for work. Let me grab a coffee. Do you want to hang out later? I don't feel like doing anything today. These are sentences you think, hear, and say in real life. The more often you practice these, the stronger your loops become. Your brain begins to react automatically when these situations appear, and English starts to flow naturally. Step 2. Practice input and output immediately. Most learners make a common mistake. They watch an English video, understand the content, and then move on without saying anything. This is not enough. Understanding English is just the first step. To create loops, you must repeat the language actively. When you hear a phrase or see a sentence, immediately think it in English. Speak it in your head. Even if you don't say it out loud, your brain needs to link the input, hearing or reading, with output, thinking or speaking. This creates the mental connections that turn words and sentences into loops. Step 3 is feel the language in context. Loops are not just words. They are emotions, actions, and situations. When you practice, imagine yourself actually in the situation. Feel it, picture it, and let your brain respond naturally. For example, if you hear, "I'm so tired," imagine yourself lying on the couch after a long day. This helps your brain store the phrase in a real-life context, making it easier to recall naturally. By following these steps, choosing real-life sentences, practicing input-output immediately, and connecting language to real situations, you train your brain to think in English automatically. The translator in your head becomes weaker and your loops get stronger. Speaking English stops being a struggle. It becomes natural, flowing, and effortless. If you hear something in English but don't use it, that's called a broken loop. A broken loop doesn't help your brain. To build real fluency, you must close the loop. Whatever you hear, repeat it, use it. Speak it out loud, whisper it, or write it down. For example, if you hear the sentence, "I'm not in the mood," don't just think it once. Repeat it 10 times. Say, "I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to work today. I'm not in the mood to study." The more you practice, the more your brain starts to recognize this sentence is useful. Let's keep it. That is exactly how loops are built. Step 3 is feel the loop. Don't just understand it with your mind. Connect with it emotionally. Here's a secret most people never tell you. Your brain remembers what your heart feels. If a sentence makes you laugh, you remember it. If it makes you angry or excited, you remember it. If it makes you feel connected, you will use it again and again. So don't just study English, feel it. For example, imagine you hear the phrase, "I need a break." Now turn it into a real loop. Say it 10 times while walking. Whisper it while brushing your teeth. Write it in your diary. Say it whenever you feel stressed. Over time, your brain doesn't need to actively remember it anymore. It will automatically give it to you whenever you need it. That's what a true loop is. Your fluency is not stuck because you are not smart. It is stuck because your loops are weak. Strengthen your loops and your English fluency will grow naturally and quickly. Now, let's move to Chapter 3. Break the fear of silent speaking. This is one of the most important steps in your journey. Many English learners fail silently, not because they don't know grammar, not because they lack vocabulary, but because they are afraid of silent speaking. Silent speaking means speaking English in your mind. It is when you practice conversations inside your head, imagining situations, talking to yourself, and thinking in English. Before you speak out loud, your mind should speak fluently first. This is where real fluency starts. But most people are too afraid to do it. They worry, what if I say it wrong? What if I sound stupid? Here's the truth. Nobody hears your silenced in speaking. It is completely private. Silent speaking is your practice ground. It is safe. It is stress-free, and it is extremely effective. The more you practice thinking and speaking in your mind, the stronger your loops become. The sentences you repeat silently start to feel natural, automatic, and ready to use in real life. Start small. Think about your daily activities in English. For example, imagine waking up and saying silently, "I'm getting ready for work. I need coffee. I'm so tired today." Imagine conversations with friends in your mind. Ask questions, respond, make jokes all silently. Slowly your mind gets used to thinking in English without translation. Step by step, word by word, your fluency grows inside your brain. Silent speaking is like invisible training. The more you do it, the less you fear speaking out loud. Your confidence rises because your brain already knows the words. You are no longer translating. You are thinking in English naturally. Many learners stop themselves from practicing English because they are afraid. They think, "What if someone hears me? What's the use of talking to myself?" So they never do it. And this is exactly where they fall behind. Not because of grammar mistakes, not because they don't know words, but because they lack courage. This is where silent speaking comes in. Silent speaking means speaking English in your mind, having private conversations with yourself. Let me ask you something. When you speak your native language, do you have to think out loud to understand it? No. You don't stop to translate each sentence. That's because you practiced it silently in your mind for years. You had mental conversations before you spoke to anyone. Your brain was trained quietly, privately, without anyone listening. Only after that private practice did you become fluent. English works the same way. If you are too afraid to speak English to yourself, you will never be ready to speak it confidently to others. The first step to fluency is private fluency. Now, let me give you exact tools to overcome this fear and start speaking English silently with confidence. Step 1. Speak to yourself like your best friend. Forget about being perfect. Don't worry about grammar or mistakes. Just talk to yourself kindly and naturally. Say things like, "I'm feeling lazy today. Let's go brush our teeth." Or, "I should make some coffee." This isn't a grammar test. This is brain training. Your mind needs practice thinking in English freely without judgment. Step 2. Practice mirror conversations silently. Stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself simple questions. How do I look today? Then answer silently. I look okay, but a little tired. I should sleep early tonight. Now you are not just watching English videos. You are thinking in English. Your mind is actively forming English sentences and building loops. Step 3. Use I sentences all day. Make it a rule from morning to night. Every thought about yourself should be in English. I'm hungry. I need to finish this task. I should call my friend. This is the purest form of silent speaking. You are training your brain to think in English naturally, not translate from your native language. The more you do this, the easier real conversations become. Step 4. Let your mistakes be invisible. The beauty of silent speaking is that no one hears you, no one judges you, and no one corrects you. You are completely free to make mistakes and learn from them privately. This is your safe space, your private classroom where your English mind grows stronger every day. Remember this. If you are not speaking inside, you will never speak confidently outside. Silent speaking is not silly. It is sacred. It is where real fluency begins. The more you embrace silent speaking, the less fear you have, and the more natural English becomes. Your mind learns to flow in English without hesitation. Your words start to come automatically, just like in your native language. Break the fear. Embrace the silence. Speak to yourself in English every day. This is the foundation of real fluency. The secret that most learners never discover. Speak to yourself every single day. That is how you build the most powerful thing in language, a fluent mind. Chapter 4 is called Burn the Books, Build the Voice. Let's be honest. Most English learners are book smart, but not street smart in English. They know hundreds of grammar rules. They've memorized verb forms. They've passed exams and filled notebooks. But when it's time to speak, their mouth freezes. Why? Because English doesn't live in books. English lives in your voice. Here's the problem with book English. Books teach you how to pass tests. They give you definitions. They give you information. But fluency doesn't come from information. Fluency comes from activation, from using your brain and your mouth together. If your mouth never practices, your brain cannot speak naturally. Books train your brain to read, but your voice trains your brain to think and speak in English. Let me give you an example. Book English. I have an appointment at 4:00 p.m. Do you want to go to the cinema this evening? Real voice. Got a meeting at 4:00? Want to catch a movie later? If your voice is silent, your English is asleep. Here's a full system to wake up your English voice and make it stronger than books ever could. Step 1. Shadowing with emotion. Choose any English sentence you hear on YouTube, a podcast, or in a movie. Let's say the sentence is, I can't believe this is happening. Play it again and say it at the same time, copying the tone, the rhythm, and the emotion, not just the words. Feel the surprise, the shock, or the excitement exactly like the speaker. Don't just repeat mechanically. Make your brain and voice live the sentence. Why emotion matters. Your brain remembers what you feel. Words without feeling are quickly forgotten. Words with emotion stay in your mind and become automatic. By shadowing with emotion, you are training your mouth, ears, and mind together. Your brain begins to think in English naturally because your voice is alive. Step 2. Speak every day, even a little. You don't need hours of study. 5 minutes every morning, 5 minutes at night. Repeat sentences, whisper them, or talk to yourself in the mirror. Your voice will slowly become stronger and English will start to flow. Remember, repetition builds muscle memory in your mouth, just like lifting weights trains your muscles. Step 3. Experiment and play. Don't be afraid to change sentences, add words, or exaggerate emotions. English is a tool for communication, not a rule book. Speak like a child exploring new sounds. The more you experiment, the more your brain builds natural English loops. Your books are only information. Your voice is power. To be fluent, you must wake up your voice, speak with emotion, and use English every day. Only then will English stop being something you memorize and start being something you live. Match the tone, the rhythm, and the feeling. You are not just copying a sentence. You are borrowing a voice. This is how actors train. This is how children learn languages. This is how you build your English voice. Step 1. Shadowing with emotion. When you hear a sentence, repeat it while matching the feeling. Don't just say the words, feel them. Say them with surprise, anger, happiness, or excitement. Your brain learns faster when your emotions are involved. Step 2. Repeat one sentence many times. Don't try to repeat 100 different sentences once. Instead, take one sentence and say it 50 to 100 times in different ways. For example, I need some time to think. Repeat it like this. I really need some time to think. I need some time to think. I need some time to think now. Stretch it. Play with it. Change the rhythm. Don't memorize mechanically. Own the sentence. Make it yours. Step 3. Record your voice. Record yourself speaking English, even just one sentence a day. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't show it to anyone. The purpose is for your brain to hear itself speak. When your mind recognizes your voice saying English, it thinks, I can speak. This is me. This is when real transformation begins. Step 4. Speak without thinking first. Fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being alive. Try this. Set a 1-minute timer and speak about anything. Your room, your day, your plans. Don't prepare. Don't translate. Just speak. Even if it's broken or you stop mid-sentence, it's okay. Your voice is getting stronger every second. If your English stays only in your mind, it will never come out. Forget the idea that books alone make you fluent. Build your voice instead. Whisper it. Repeat it. Record it. Shout it. Make it a daily habit. Like brushing your teeth. Your voice is the only book your brain believes. Chapter 5. Build thought paths, not vocabulary lists. Now, let's tackle another common lie. You are told that learning enough words makes you fluent. So, you collect vocabulary lists, 50 words a week, lists for travel, lists for food, lists for emotions. You memorize them, but when it's time to speak, the words vanish. They disappear from your mind. Why? Because you don't have a path to those words in your brain. The words are isolated like books on a shelf. You know them in theory, but your brain doesn't know how to reach them naturally during real speech. Fluency doesn't come from memorizing words. It comes from creating thought paths, connections in your mind that link ideas, feelings, and situations with English words automatically. A thought path is like a mental highway. When a thought comes to you, the words flow without stopping. You don't search for them. Your brain retrieves them instantly. For example, instead of memorizing the word hungry alone, link it to thoughts. I'm hungry. I need food. I'll make a sandwich. I want to eat. Now, when a situation arises, your brain travels these paths, and English flows naturally. You don't need a dictionary. You say out loud or silently, I'm so tired today. Do this every time you feel tired. Not once, not twice, but 50 times. Next time you're tired, your brain won't ask, what's the English word for this? It will automatically say, I'm tired. That's a thought path. Vocabulary lists fail because they're like buying ingredients without knowing how to cook. You have the words, but no way to use them in life. Thought paths turn vocabulary into fluency. Step 1. Use every new word in a real moment. Don't just write words in a notebook. Use them in life. Learn annoyed. Use it when stuck in traffic. Learn excited? Use it when your favorite song comes on. Always link the word to an emotion and a moment. That's how it sticks. Step 2. Speak full sentences, not single words. Don't just say hungry. Say, I'm really hungry right now. I could eat anything. Don't just say sad. Say, I feel really down today. I don't even know why. The full sentence becomes a path. It gives life to the word. Your brain learns it as a ready-to-use tool, not a flashcard. Step 3. Repeat words in real moments. Use the word in its thought path 10 times a week. Every time the feeling returns, say the sentence again. Each repetition strengthens the connection. In just a few weeks, you won't need vocabulary lists anymore. You don't need 5,000 words. You need 500 strong thought paths ready to flow naturally whenever you speak. Chapter 6. Think in triggers, not in sentences. Here's something most English learners don't realize. You don't need to invent a new sentence every time you speak. Fluent people don't. They respond automatically to triggers. A trigger is anything that instantly activates a specific thought in your mind. It can be something you see, a cup of coffee, a window, your phone, a situation, someone greeting you, walking outside, a feeling cold, tired, hungry, a time of day, morning, night. Fluent speakers don't translate or overthink. Their brain has already linked trigger English sentence. That's why it happens instantly. That's fluency. Example. You open a window and feel cold. A non-fluent learner might think, what is this feeling? What's the English word? How do I say it? A fluent speaker just says, it's freezing. It's chilly out today. Cold air is the trigger and the English sentence is already wired in the brain. How to build trigger-based fluency. Step 1. Pick 5 daily triggers. Choose things you see or feel every day. Examples: waking up, looking in the mirror, drinking water, feeling tired, using your phone. For each trigger, write one English sentence that naturally fits the moment. Wake up. I don't want to get out of bed. Mirror. I look tired today. Water. I need to stay hydrated. Phone. Let me check my notifications. Don't worry about perfect grammar. The goal is to link the moment to a sentence. This becomes your trigger map. Step 2. Activate the trigger every time it happens. Every time you see or feel the trigger, say your sentence out loud or silently in your mind. Repeat it enough that your brain stops translating. It just reacts. Chapter 6. Continued. Step 4. Create emotion-based triggers. This is the most powerful step. Anytime you feel a strong emotion, attach it to an English sentence. Angry. Why do I always get annoyed so easily? Nervous. I hope everything goes well today. Happy. This moment feels really good. Your emotions are the best triggers because they are real, and your brain never forgets what is real. Stop trying to memorize English. React to life in English. Connect your sentences to the world around you. Attach them to your feelings and watch fluency happen naturally. Remember, trigger speak, trigger speak, trigger speak. Even if it's just in your mind or whispered, repetition rewires your brain. Soon, translation disappears and your brain reacts automatically, just like a native speaker. Chapter 7. Copy first, understand later. The child's secret. Here's something shocking. Fluent speakers didn't understand everything when they first learned to speak. Not as children, not as adults learning a second language, and not even actors memorizing difficult lines. They followed a simple rule: copy first, understand later. As adults, we often do the opposite. I can't use the sentence unless I understand every word. I need to know the grammar rule before I speak. I'm afraid of using it wrong. This mindset kills fluency. It's not how babies learn. It's not how actors memorize scripts. And it's not how real language enters your brain. You need to copy even if you don't fully get it yet, because your brain learns by repetition and immersion, not by analysis. Chapter 7. Step 3. Use it in real situations. Even if you're alone, feeling annoyed, say, I'm not in the mood for this. Feeling excited? Say, this is unreal. Speak it in your room, shower, or while walking. Each time you use it, your brain says, this belongs to me. Step 4. Review later. Only after the sentence is in your brain do you study grammar or meaning. Now, your brain has context, so grammar isn't a rule. It's real language you've already used. Summary: stop being a student. Start being a copy machine. Let the sentence live in your mouth first. Let your brain catch up later. That's how kids speak. That's how actors speak. That's how fluency is born. Chapter 8. Train with real-life dialogues, not textbook lines. Let's be honest. You've been taught how to construct sentences, but not how to survive a conversation. Textbook lines. Where is the library? This is a pen. My name is nice. Real people, they don't talk like that. Fluency isn't about knowing rules. It's about responding naturally in context. You need dialogues that mimic real life, not invented sentences from a book. Chapter 8. Continued real-life dialogue training. Step 3. Role-play it silently every day. Sit alone. Close your eyes. Visualize the cafe, the people, the menu, the smell. Have the conversation in your mind first. Hear the words. See the actions. Feel the situation. Imagine both sides. What the barista says. What you say next. This is silent speaking in action. Step 4. Speak it out loud. Now open your mouth and say the conversation aloud. Don't worry about grammar mistakes. Focus on flow, emotion, and rhythm. Repeat it until it feels natural, like your brain and mouth are synchronized. Step 5. Mix and modify. Don't just repeat the same script. Change it slightly each time. Ask for a different drink. Can I get a flat white instead? Order extra items and 1 chocolate croissant. Please change context. Imagine a friend ordering with you. This teaches your brain to adapt in real situations, not just recite lines. Step 6. Use triggers within dialogues. Connect sentences to real-life triggers. Smell of coffee. I need a coffee right now. Feeling hungry. I'm starving. Let's grab a snack. This strengthens your automatic response system, making English come naturally. Key insight. Dialogue training is not about perfection. It's about activation. The more you see, feel, and speak real situations, the more your brain stops translating and starts reacting in English. When you practice English, it's not enough to just read or memorize sentences. Real fluency comes when your brain and mouth are ready to respond automatically like a native speaker. One powerful way to do this is to imagine real conversations in your mind. You can whisper them or say them silently. This is not acting, it's training your brain. Each time you do this, your brain starts to recognize situations and sentences. So, when the rail moment comes, you won't have to think about what to say. You'll just respond naturally. A simple way to do this is to pick a common situation you face, like ordering coffee. Imagine yourself at the cafe. Picture the menu, the smell, the people, the sounds around you. Now practice the dialogue in your head. Say both parts if you want the customer and the barista. For example, hey, can I get a medium cappuccino with almond milk? Sure. Anything else? No, that's all. Thanks. Repeat this in your mind or whisper it several times. Each repetition helps your brain remember the flow and rhythm of the conversation. Soon you'll respond automatically when you're in a real cafe without translating or thinking too much. You can also record yourself playing both roles. Pretend you are both the customer and the barista. Speak the lines and then listen to yourself. Repeat this process multiple times. When you hear your own voice, your brain recognizes that speaking English is something you can actually do. It builds confidence and real-life experience. This is much better than only memorizing textbook sentences or grammar rules because your brain trusts what it has experienced. You're training for the real world, not a classroom test. Another important lesson is, speak even if you are not fluent yet. Many learners make a big mistake. They wait until they feel ready, confident, or perfect before speaking. They think, I'll speak when I know enough. But waiting keeps them stuck. Fluency doesn't happen in silence. Think about swimming. You can't learn it just by reading books, watching videos, or buying equipment. You learn to swim by jumping into the water. Speaking English is the same. You learn by speaking. The earlier you start, even if your English is broken, the faster your brain builds sentence patterns, muscle memory, and confidence. Silent English will never make you fluent. Speaking, even imperfectly, gives your brain the practice it needs to grow. When you speak early, you also start overcoming fear. Many learners feel afraid of making mistakes, being judged, or saying the wrong thing. That speaking silently at first, then out loud is how you train your brain and mouth to work together. It's how English becomes automatic, how it becomes yours. Fluency in English doesn't come from studying alone. It comes from speaking. One of the most important things you can do is build courage and make speaking a daily habit. Step 1 is simple. Speak every day, even if no one is listening. Yes, even if you're in your room talking to a wall, start small. Spend at least 2 minutes a day speaking aloud. Talk about your day, what you see, or how you feel. For example, you can say, "Today, I woke up late. I feel a little lazy, but I have things to do." Don't worry about grammar or saying everything perfectly. The goal is movement, training your mouth and brain to work together in English. Step 2 is to celebrate broken sentences. Let me be clear. Broken sentences are not failures. They are signs that you are trying, learning, and not afraid. Even native speakers make mistakes, pause, or get words wrong sometimes. Fluency is not about perfection. It's about keeping the flow of speech going. Accuracy comes later. Right now, the important thing is to speak and stay in motion. The more you speak, the more confident you become, and eventually your brain fixes the mistakes naturally. Step 3 is to speak in front of a mirror or camera. Look at your own eyes and tell your story. Act as if you are giving a speech, teaching a lesson, or having a conversation with a friend. At first, it may feel strange or silly. That's normal. But if you do it every day for about 10 days, you'll notice something powerful. You start to enjoy your own voice. You begin to realize, hey, I sound better than I thought. This is actually working. That feeling is the start of real confidence. And confidence is essential for fluency. Step 4 is to speak even when you don't know the words. Don't freeze or run to a dictionary or Google every time you get stuck. Instead, describe what you mean. For example, if you forget the word cap, you can say the thing you wear on your head. If you feel a complex emotion like boredom or mild sadness, describe it in your own words. This trains your brain to think in English, solve problems in English, and stop relying on translations. Fluency does not happen first, and then speaking comes later. It happens the other way around. You speak, make mistakes, get stuck, and through that process, your brain learns to respond naturally. Speak now wrong, scared, tired, slow, loud, just speak. Silence is safe, but fluency lives in your voice. Now, let's take your English practice even further. Think about how you use English. Many people treat it like a phone app. They open it, use it for a few minutes, then close it. This is like practicing only occasionally without letting English really become part of your thinking. To truly become fluent, English must become your operating system, not an app. It should run in the background of your mind, shaping how you think, react, and speak throughout your day. Imagine your brain like a phone. If English is just an app, it is separate, temporary, and needs to be opened consciously. But if English becomes your operating system, it is integrated into every part of your life. You start thinking in English naturally. You start reacting in English without translating. You start connecting English to your feelings, actions, and surroundings. When you make English your operating system, every conversation, every thought, every decision begins to run through English automatically. That's the difference between studying and living English. The more your English voice runs, the more fluent, confident, and real your English becomes. It's no longer a skill you turn on for a test. It becomes a natural part of you. Most learners treat English like a short-term activity, not a permanent part of life. They use it only when they watch a YouTube video, attend a class, or practice a sentence for a few minutes. Then they put it aside, return to their native language, and think, I'll speak English someday. This is why so many people never truly become fluent. The truth is that fluency is not an activity. Fluency is like a computer operating system. It runs everything in your brain automatically. Your thoughts, decisions, reactions, and speech are all part of your system. Right now, your brain runs on your native language. English is just a small app in the corner, opened occasionally, maybe once a day. But if you want to think and speak naturally in English, you need to install it as your operating system. It must run in the background all the time. This means you think in English even when you are not speaking. You walk, cook, scroll on your phone, or even daydream in English. When you wake up, you can say, "Let's get out of bed," in English. When you check your phone, think any messages yet in English. When you feel hungry, say, "I could eat something right now." When checking your phone, say to yourself, "Let's see what's happening." You don't have to speak out loud. Thinking in English is enough at first. If you do this for 30 days, your brain starts to rely less on your native language. Slowly, English becomes the default for thinking, reacting, and observing life. This is the installation process of English as your operating system. Step 2 is to change your environment so it supports English. Your system is not just about your mind. It's about the input around you. Replace native language media with English content. Listen to English podcasts while walking. Watch shows, YouTube videos, and news in English. Label things in your room in English. Change your phone, computer, and apps to English. Read English books or articles that interest you. Immerse yourself in English like you would in any natural environment. The more English surrounds you, the more it becomes normal. Step 3 is to link emotions to English. Your feelings are powerful triggers. When you are excited, think in English, "This is amazing." When you are tired, say, "I'm exhausted today." When frustrated, say, "I can handle this." Your brain remembers emotional moments better than neutral ones. Connecting English to real feelings ensures the language sticks. You're not memorizing rules or phrases, you're living them. Your sentences, words, and reactions start to flow automatically because they are attached to your real life. By combining daily routines, environmental changes, and emotional connections, English stops being a separate subject and becomes part of who you are. You stop switching between languages because your brain is always running English in the background. You start thinking, reacting, feeling, and dreaming in English naturally. This is how English becomes permanent, automatic, and real. It's no longer a temporary skill. You've created a second mind that operates in English. That is true fluency. Your brain is like a computer and everything around you. Your phone, apps, playlists, YouTube, and notes is part of that system. If you want English to run automatically in your mind, all these things need to be in English. Set your phone to English. Change your GPS voice to English. Write your to-do list in English. Rename your playlists in English. Set reminders that speak to you in English. When everything you touch daily uses English, your brain has no choice but to adapt. Slowly, it switches automatically, just like a system update. Step 3 is to use English during emotional moments. Your operating system is tested when emotions run high, not during calm or easy times. When you feel angry, excited, nervous, proud, or happy, speak in English. For example, you might say, "Why do I always mess things up?" when frustrated. Or, "This is amazing when excited," or "I'm scared, but I'll do it when nervous." These are the sentences that stick in your mind. Your emotions are the power source of your language system. Sentences linked to real feelings burn into your brain and become permanent. Step 4 is to stop turning English off. Most learners only speak English during study time or classes. That's a big mistake. Your goal is to never turn it off. You don't stop breathing or pause your heartbeat. English should work the same way. Make it your first reaction, your default thought, and your inner conversation. Even if you end up speaking your native language, try to think in English first. This is the final stage. English should stop being something you use occasionally and start being something you live in every day. Install English into your operating system. Make it the language of your life, not just your exams. Let it become automatic. When you wake up, think in English. When you check your phone, think in English. When you feel emotions, react in English. English is no longer something separate you have to study. It's the language of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. At this point, fluency is no longer a dream. It becomes your reality. Let's be honest, there are millions of English learners around the world. Some are watching grammar videos. Some are buying vocabulary books. Some are still too afraid to speak. But you reached the end. You didn't just listen. You absorbed it. You stayed with every chapter. You paid attention with your heart, not just your ears. That is why your approach is different. You now know something most learners never understand. Fluency doesn't come from memorizing rules or practicing a few sentences. It comes from living in English, from making it part of your mind, your emotions, and your daily life. By changing your environment, thinking in English, and speaking through emotional moments, you are installing English into your system permanently. You don't have to wait to feel fluent. You become fluent by living the language. When English runs in your background like breathing, when your mind reacts automatically in English, that is when feel in it and make it part of your life. Remember this. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to speak fast or sound like anyone else. The key is consistency. Speak even when it feels scary. Think in English even when it feels strange. Keep going every day, step by step. Fluency is not something you are born with. It is a choice, a daily decision you make quietly for yourself. No one else may notice at first, but the change will show in everything you do. If you've listened this far, it shows something important about you. You've already made that decision. You've chosen to live in English. You've chosen to make it part of your mind, part of your life. English is no longer just a subject you study. It is your second mind. It is your new world. It is your home. Speak in it, think in it, feel in it. Let it guide your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions. The only thing that has ever stood between you and fluency is your own permission. And now you've given yourself that permission. You are ready. You don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect words. You start now. Speak today, not someday. Practice every day. Make mistakes. Keep going. Broken sentences, pauses, or hesitation are not failure. They are proof that you are learning, growing, and building real English fluency. This is the difference between learners who stay stuck and learners who succeed. Those who succeed don't just memorize words, they live them. They attach English to their emotions, routines, and daily life. They speak when it is hard. They push past fear. And over time, English becomes natural, automatic, and a part of who they are. So, here is the truth. English is not just a language. It is a tool, a mindset, and a new way to live. It is your path to confidence, connection, and freedom. When you speak in English, you are not just practicing a skill. You are creating a new self. A self who can act, think, and feel freely in another language. A self who can connect with the world. You are ready to live this way. Speak now. Speak every day. Think in English. Feel in English. Let it be your second mind, your new home, your new life. Consistency and courage will carry you forward. Every sentence you speak, every thought you think in English, every emotional moment you express in English brings you closer to fluency. Fluency is not a distant dream anymore. It is your choice, your